back to another episode of the Natty Teacher. I'm your host, the Natty Teacher, and on today's episode, we have a pull day. Now, coincidentally, if you've watched my last couple of pull days since my show, my Monday workouts have been essentially exactly the same. Well, hold on. We got a little twist here. If you are new to the channel, or if you just watched my previous back workout, which was my pull B day, was a vertical pull day, meaning that it was a lot of exercises tailored towards the lats. Pull up, pull downs, so straight up and down, so vertical. Okay. Now, today will be more of a horizontal pull day, meaning that the body itself will be positioned more horizontally, or that I will be pulling weight in a horizontal fashion. Okay, so from the floor to, a midline, things like that. So, meaning a lot of rowing exercises. Okay, so today is more of like the upper back, traps, rhomboids, teres, all the fun stuff, all the innards of the back. Okay, that is what this is you could classify it as like a back thickness workout. That is what this pull, like the bulk of this pull session will be. We will, of course, have some direct rear delt work and then some bicep work to end, of course. And then today we also have abs, calves, and cardio, all of which will not be filmed, but I promise you, it will get done. Okay? But anyways, yeah. So today, again, we're kind of mixing it up. There will be, I don't want to say necessarily new exercises and more variations than anything. But we're actually going to be starting out with an old school exercise here. A good old Smith machine row. Not bent over to 90 degrees. We're not worried about really targeting the lats too much. They will get hit a little bit, but this is more for that mid-upper back, just overall back density. So we're going to get some mobility work in, get a nice little warm-up. Always take a few minutes to warm up, guys. 3, 5, 10 minutes, whatever it is, whenever you feel like you need to get a little warm-up in. 5 minutes is kind of that magic number. Spend just a few minutes getting a nice little pump, moving some blood around, getting the areas in which you're going to work warmed up. I always recommend that. So again, we'll get that mobility work in, a little bit of a warm-up, and then we will jump into some Smith machine rows. So you will see that top set of Smith machine rows with whatever weight we'll be using. See how we're feeling today. Right about now. All right. Well, as promised, we got some Smith machine rows. Now, we got 2 plates and a quarter here, and this is just a terrible camera angle. So I ended up recording both my top and back offset here. We did 2 working sets here. Again, I consider this just an overall back builder. I'm absolutely using some upper back, some traps, rhomboids, all that kind of fun stuff. I'm not trying to isolate the lats here with this bad boy or anything. We're just trying to stay as bent over as possible and feel as much of the back as we possibly can while using relatively decent loads here. So here's our top set again, 2 plates and a quarter. And then here's the back offset, just to give you a different angle of kind of how it actually looks, because it looks like that first angle doesn't look super great, but you can see that I am bent over, not to 90 degrees or anything like that, but bent over a decent amount. We're rowing that bar roughly to the waist, belly button area seems to be kind of ideal for really feeling that back contract. Again, you don't need to bend your knees down to 90 degrees or anything like that. We're using a lot of erectors to balance the back right now and balance the body and rep that out. So we did a top set, 2 plates and a quarter for 10, and then we did a back offset of 2 plates here for 15. Then went on to some T-bar rows. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've been going a little too heavy on this one. This actually doesn't look terrible right here, but I just wasn't feeling it as much. I ended up dropping the weight on my 3rd set. I did 3 working sets of this. So I did 2 sets at this weight here, which is 525s and then a 10. And then I dropped the weight to 425s and actually felt that so much more. This one, I do really want to stay up over the weight a little bit more and come down to about 90 degrees. I felt that a lot more. So next week, you will see me do this exercise a little different. Not that there was anything wrong with this, but definitely can be better. We're not using a ton of momentum until the end here, but still definitely can be better. So 3 working sets of T-bar rows. Then some chest supported rows. We did 2 working sets here. Again, nice, relatively wide-ish grip. grip, you'll see that if you look closely, if you watch my chest throughout the entirety of this exercise, my chest never leaves the pad. Okay, so obviously I lean back as I'm rowing the weight back, but you'll see that my chest never actually leaves the support of the pad. Okay, I'm driving those elbows back, again, just essentially pulling the weight back and sitting in that back for just a moment and squeezing that back. So right here, you'll see that I actually get a full flex in the back, control that retraction, get that full stretch. I like those arms to fully lengthen out, stretch that back out as much as possible, and keep the reps in this, I would say, relatively high. I believe our top set here was of 16, and then we did a following set of 15 as well with this weight. Felt really good. So felt nice and strong. And again, really just a great exercise all the way around. So any chest supported rowing you can do, I think, is great. 1 or 2 variations in your split is more, I wouldn't say more than enough. I think there's quite a few variations you could put in, but again, this felt really good out of this gentleman here who wanted to pop in here. I was in his way. That was my bad. I should have just set it up on the floor. Yeah, so I ended up stopping the set here anyway. I was done anyways, but yeah, I felt bad. I was like, ah, crap. But yeah, no, I'm in the way. Put it this way, if you ever, a little life lesson for you, if you are in the gym recording, you are the one in the way, not the other way around. Please make sure that you know that. Anyways, underhanded close grip pull downs, another one of my favorite variations. We're driving these handles down to the sternum, so the lower part of the chest, but you'll see here a little bit different. I'm not leaning so far back. I'm actually coming straight up and down, and we are driving those elbows down through. This is just, again, one of them nice, like, meaty back builders here, squeezing into the innards of the back, getting a great back pump. This was actually the final back exercise I did. I mean, well, okay, logically, dumbbell shrugs is a back exercise because the traps are a part of the back, and that's the next exercise you guys will see because the Smith machine was taken. But still, as far as like the, back portion of my pull workout, this was really, this rounded it off really well. So again, a lot of rowing, 3 different rowing variations, and then 1 pull down variation. Felt awesome. Now, like I said, usually I would do Smith machine shrugs here as the camera quality cleared up here, which is good. In this gym, it only goes up to, we only have 100-pound dumbbells. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would go a little bit heavier, although I do like to do shrugs in higher rep ranges anyways. So it was kind of nice to throw in this variation. You'll see I shrug and then sit at the top, boom, hold it for a good 1 to 2 count, and then control the weight on the way down. Nothing super crazy. It doesn't have to be a 10-second hold, doesn't have to be a 10-second retraction on the way down, nothing like that. Just a nice little 1-2 count at the top, and control the weight on the way down. Don't let I like to make sure that I almost picture like I'm setting down the weight, like carefully when I allow my hands to drop down. Like I'm not just letting my hands drop here. You can kind of see that my shoulders and arms come down nice and slow and sit at the bottom. Okay, so don't just allow that weight to pull you down through the floor. Really make sure you're controlling that weight on the way down to kind of stretch those traps on the way down as well. Okay, so this was a top set here with the hundreds for 20, and then I did a following set of 18 with the hundreds after that as well, keeping the reps nice and high. Usually I would have done rear delt flies before shrugs, but the machine was taken at the time, so that's okay. But you'll see here that I'm leaning into the actual rear delt fly machine here, so leaning into that pad. You can see my feet are actually behind rather than in front, so my chest is never ever coming off of that pad, and I'm just isolating the rear delts very hard. I saw Hunter Labrada, actually, he was doing this. He had kind of some good cues for rear delt flies, and one of them was actually keeping the feet in behind. Not that I feel like that's a necessity, but I just wanted to try it, and I actually really like it, so I'll continue to run that for sure, and keep you guys updated on how I feel with that as I continue to go heavier and heavier. Now, we did 3 working sets here, all within that 12 to 20 rep range. Again, this is not one that I would recommend using the full stack on unless you can do it with this type of consistent form, but make sure you're just really getting a good strong pump in the rear delts and actually feeling the rear delts, not feeling your traps too much, or feeling your arms, or whatever, your neck. Some people even complain of issues with collarbone and all that. You should feel your rear delts. If you don't feel your rear delts, you're doing something wrong here. But again, get a nice, pulse that weight out, get it all the way out, and then control that retraction, get a full stretch. Now, we did double speed here because I do very strict curls. So yes, this is actually 2 times speed. And even this, I would say, is pretty solid form. You can see that I'm sitting and holding the weight at the top. Now, again, guys, this is something I've made this mistake too, so it's not just, I'm not calling anybody out, in particular. If anything, I'm calling myself out here too. with dumbbell curls, okay, or any kind of curl. Using too much momentum, first of all, is never a good thing. But second of all, you're probably using too much weight. Okay? I did 3 working sets, all with the 40-pound dumbbells. That's it. I don't know if that's high for you. I don't know if that's low for you. Regardless of what it is, I promise you that as I've continued to progress more and more with bodybuilding, I've come to realize there are certain body parts that just respond to a little bit less weight and a much better contraction and stretch, and biceps are absolutely one of them. Most of your body parts are, but this one in particular, we're not worried about the load too much. We are worried about getting, more concerned with, really getting a good contraction. Okay, now again, this is also double speed here. One of my favorite bicep variations ever, one-arm cable curls. Okay, now we have a supinated grip here, meaning that our palms are facing up towards the ceiling, and we are getting a nice hard curl here. Now we did, again, for the dumbbell hammer curls, like I said, 3 working sets, all within that 10 to 20 rep range, and it's the same concept here, really trying to get 3 working sets all within that 10 to 20 rep range of some one-arm cable curls, adding a little bit of weight from last week, which is awesome, and going from there. This is one where, again, kind of keep that elbow in that starting position, aligned with the side of the body, maybe even slightly behind. Decided to show both arms here because why not? Okay. Make sure you're really focusing on that stretch, controlling the weight on the way down. Don't let that cable just drag you down to the floor or anything like that. We don't want that, okay? Make sure we are controlling the weight on the way down and getting that really good peak contraction. Awesome pumps. I promise you, you do this exercise correctly and progressively overload it, you are not going to regret it. It is a 20 out of 10 exercise. I love it. One of my favorite bicep thickness builders for sure. The tension on the cables is awesome. 3 working sets here. Pull A in the books. Hey man, great stuff, great workout, felt awesome, sick pumps, felt strong. It was nice to throw back in some good old Smith rows like that. I love Smith machine rows, man. I think for a whole back development, again, we're not trying to just isolate, I'm not trying to isolate the lats. When I'm doing a row like that, you absolutely can do rowing variations that isolate particular parts of the back. For me, I consider that more of a whole back exercise. I just want to get a nice thick back, and doing something where you are hinged and your erectors have to do some work, and you don't have to necessarily be bent over to 90 degrees. Okay, some rowing variations I would recommend that depending on what you're trying to accomplish, but you don't always have to be bent over completely to 90 degrees on every single exercise. But it felt good just to get up over some weight and just row some weight, man. Again, I've been doing a lot of different work just to kind of play with it here in this off season, but it was nice to get back to something big like that. So we absolutely will continue to rock that exercise this off season for sure. Yeah, felt really good, man. Felt good. So really enjoyed that horizontal pull day for sure. Make sure you join me tomorrow. We got quads on the docket, so our leg A day, our first leg workout of the week on the docket tomorrow. Exciting stuff. For the rest of the day today, I still do have some bodyweight calf work I got to rock out, and then a half-hour cardio still. So I'm going to go home, have my post-workout meal, hang out with my kid for a while, and when she goes to take a nap, that is when I will accomplish the calf and cardio work and all that kind of fun stuff. So, yeah. So again, make sure you tune in tomorrow for that leg workout. Please like and share the video if you feel up to it. Keep dropping those comments and that feedback below. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. Again, comment what you want to see, what you need to see, what you like, what you don't like, all that kind of stuff. Trust me, it really means the world to me when I get that kind of feedback. So I really do appreciate it. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button. Come on, man. I want to see you every day. If you don't want to, no pressure. No pressure. I know I feel like a lot of people just throw the subscribe thing in at the end, and it almost sounds like forceful. Like you gotta subscribe. You don't gotta. If you don't want to see my stuff again, or if you just only want to see me pop up from time to time, hey, I get it. I get it. I gotta live with this all day, every day, so I get it. Okay. But if you're feeling up to it, if you're on the fence, you're like, I don't know, yeah, hit that subscribe button. Why not? Give it a whirl. Okay. Anyways. For today, I am the Natty Teacher, and this episode of Summer School is out. I will catch y'all tomorrow.